What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AKP Sports Talk. As always, I'm Ari here with Korea. And, we always talk about in sports betting how you're going to have your ups and your downs. And boy, did we both have a down this past weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Mostly Saturday. Sunday wasn't as bad. Um, well, let's get right into the recaps. Tough Saturday for both of us. Arizona was absolutely terrible in that game, but obviously I'll let you get into that. Started off with a great bet on Friday with Houston winning outright, not needing the points, and then it all went downhill after that for you, Korea. What were your takeaways from your bets on both Friday and Saturday, and what you took away from those games?
Well, I don't even know where to start, Ari. I mean, Friday, we were doing so well. I went 3-0 on the day, obviously with Houston. We don't even need the points there. And then, with some lucky turnovers, I had the first half under in that Michigan State Oregon game. Excuse me. And then I also had UNLV first half -3, which was some miraculous comeback. And I was like, 3-0 day Friday. We're going to continue this momentum on Saturday. And then Saturday, and you know how I was saying, UCF was going to have a BTA? Nah, I got BTA'd, bro. I got my ass handed to. Mizzou, thanks for showing up. There's your check. Go leave. Yeah, they're banned. And in fact, they are banned. You want to know why they're banned? Why are you kicking a meaningless field goal with, 10 seconds left in the game? You kick some meaningless field goal. You could, instead of actually trying to get into the end zone, you kick some meaningless field goal. That was already the start of the day. And then just seeing how my day went, right? It was just downhill from there. UCF, oh yeah, your run game didn't show up until KJ Jefferson is so bad. And then San Jose State, they made Nevada look like the next group of five, they made Nevada look like Boise State, for God's sakes. And then Arizona, or I know you already alluded to it, but I don't know what's going on with Fafita. He looks like a quarterback, like a capable quarterback one week. I mean, he struggles against Texas Tech the next week. He got intercepted, and not all of them were his fault. Obviously, I saw the one where I think it bounced off. So I forgot who it bounced off, and when it was a deflection, but it looked like he just wasn't getting any time in the pocket. He just looked like he was getting a lot of pressure in his face. And Texas Tech, their offense is still going to do their thing. Obviously, one of the best passing offenses in the country with Morton, but it was all Texas Tech in the first half, and they kind of just stuck to that lead. Arizona made it a little bit of an interesting game, but it was not enough to obviously to cover because they lost out.
Arizona took the lead with 6-7 minutes left, and then it went downhill after that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. After the day I had, I just turned it all off. And then I woke up to find out that Cal somehow. Oh, don't even get me started with that Cal game, but I just I got humbled this weekend. I knew it. I said Saturday night. I said I was feeling myself after Friday. I said I had a 3-0 day, and I was like, no way, I'm gonna have another. There it is, 0-5. So just gotta get back in the lab. Obviously, I'm already down. I gotta play for you guys tomorrow. But also now, in the lab as soon as Sunday hits. So, as soon as Sunday hits, it's a new week for college football. Just gotta turn over, scratch it all off, move on. Obviously, we got action tomorrow, Wednesday. Wednesday's game is atrocious, but Thursday as well, and obviously Friday, and then a huge college football Saturday weekend with, I arguably say, 3 of the best games of the year. Obviously, potentially, and that was after we had Bama and Georgia, and then after last week too, with all the crazy amount of upsets. So there's just a lot of potential in college football this week to be even crazier. So we're definitely excited to see what the future slate looks like. But yeah, just bad weekend. Ari, I know mine was bad, but at least did you win?
No, I was 0-2-1. Rutgers pushed at +7. Obviously, you talked about UCF, and as soon as they had a 4th and 1, like in their own side of the field, down 7-3, and Jefferson got stuffed up the middle, and then like 3 plays later, Florida scored, made it 14-3 at that point. It was not looking good, obviously. They just couldn't get into any sort of rhythm offensively. I mean, they only lost 24-13, so it's not like they got like crushed or anything. They just couldn't find anything offensively, all for the most part all game. Rutgers was a weird game because they didn't score until like 4 minutes left in the game. They were down 14-0. They scored like 4 minutes left. They had the ball like 4 or 5 different drives in Indiana territory and just couldn't finish any drives. It was the defense. Obviously, I talked about their defensive run game, and the defense kept them in the game, obviously, the entire way. Guy didn't have a huge game. He's pretty inefficient. I think he had like almost 90 yards on 17 carries, so not the best game from him. Late night, Miami Cal under was terrible. There was a lot of points early, and then obviously the crazy comeback by Miami. Obviously, it would have went over either way, but the crazy comeback by Miami on top of everything else was obviously another crazy part. 21-3 in the fourth quarter. There was, this was during the Arizona game, so I wasn't like watching it fully, but I was keeping track of it, obviously, to the side. And, the missed targeting that I think would have essentially ended the game, I think, if they called it at that point. There's that too. But also Cal still blew they're up like 38-20 or something along those lines. So they still blew a huge lead either way, even though it probably should have been targeting. At least that's what most people were saying from what I was seeing. Rough week Saturday for both of us, and obviously another big slate next Saturday that will look to rebound. And we've had some good Saturdays as well before, so we'll look to bounce back next week, and starting with some early cultural games this week as well. Not sure if we lost you, Korea, or you're muted, one or the other. Okay, I think we may have lost Korea, so I'll just get into my Sunday plays where I went 1-1. The Bills-Texans game was looking good for the over early. I think it was 7-7 early, I believe. Or it was 14-3 it was early. And then the Bills, it was just a weird game for Josh Allen. I think he started off like 1 for 9. He was like 12 for 25 at one point, or at the or not 12. No, he's 9 for 30 in the end. He had the one big touchdown down the sideline to Keon Coleman, and then that was basically it. And there's the weird play calling. The over was already not going to hit anyways, but there's the weird play calling at the end of the fourth quarter where they passed it, 3 times incomplete deep in their own, like basically in their own end zone, and that left enough clock for the Texans to have, one more quick pass and then a field goal that Fairbairn hit. So, it was 4 points off the over at 43 points. And definitely there were chances for it to go into the 50s in terms of the total points. But, Josh Allen was pretty bad the entire game. And then, Stroud was pretty good, but, good enough to get the Texans a win, obviously. But definitely expected more points, and there were chances for more points. Let me just make sure. There's definitely chances for more points. It's texting Korea. Okay, he should be coming back on. But yeah, there's chance for more points, but obviously 23-20 isn't going to do it. And the Packers, that was kind of a crazy game. The Rams had a chance at the end. 24-19 Green Bay, so they covered. Jordan Love had the really, really bad pick six in his own end zone. I don't know. I mean, he was trying to avoid the safety, in his own end zone, but I don't know why he didn't just throw it, out of bounds. He threw it, inbounds for a Rams defender, caught at the 4 and ran in for a pick six. But obviously he was able to bounce back. He had the 2 touchdowns to Tucker Kraft. He had a nice deep pass to Jaden Reed. I think it was in the first quarter. It was kind of a back and forth game. The Rams took the lead going into halftime. I think it was 13-10 going into half. And then I think it was both touchdowns to Tucker Kraft were in the third quarter. So that gave them, I think it was a 24-13 lead at that point. And then the Rams scored in the fourth quarter, make it 24-19. And had a chance at the end. I think they got it just past midfield. But couldn't get any further than that. I think they got to like the 40 or the 50. 1-1 Sunday for me. I think Korea should be coming back on soon, I believe. And I guess I'll just quickly go over his plays. So it was technically 2-2 if you include the teaser you had from Thursday. One with the Jets Vikings on there. That was a really good look to start early on Sunday. It was getting a little sweaty towards the end when the Jets were driving to potentially win the game and push the total over. But what was 23-17. So obviously it hooked under in his favor, 23-17. It was mostly, I want to say it was mostly low scoring throughout, or I guess it was mostly the second half was lower scoring because it was 17-7 at halftime. So it was on pace to go over at halftime. But a lot more defense was played in the second half of the London game. So that was a good play. Oh. Okay.
It's been a weekend. Not going to talk about it, but just another shitty weekend. Just in terms of betting, just got to get back to the lab. Just got to figure it out. No one else to say there. Just got to figure it out. We have our good and bad weekends. Another bad weekend.
2-2 wasn't that bad for you in NFL.
Yeah. Just kind of recapping the whole weekend though. Just 2-7, not the greatest week. 3-7, not the greatest weekend. Just got to improve. But starts tomorrow, or today for some people in terms of the game. So just ready to move on. All right, ready to move on.
Yeah. Okay. We'll get on to what you like for tonight, and then also what you like for tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's not really a bet. I know you have it as a lean as well. I'm not really on it as well, but in terms of a lean, I just lean the Saints tonight on the spread plus 5.5. It's weird in terms of the splits, but Derek Carr, in terms of his, his systems, he's better as an underdog for some weird reason, and against, better. Derek Carr is a weird quarterback. He's better against better defenses, and he's better against as an underdog. So pretty much when he's down and out, that's when he's better. So I kind of like him in this spot. Everyone's backing. I see a lot of people, as sharp as the Saints, and that's why I'm kind of using it as a lean. I don't really like it because I don't really like backing against Mahomes as well. Which is how this spread is. I know it opened around 6 and it's crept down to 5.5, but the fact that it stayed there, and then how the totals looked, I lean the under, but I can't really back it. Just I feel like this game could creep over with just how these two offenses are. Even though the Saints defense has been playing really well. Obviously, it's Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day, and then on the other side, for the Saints, I feel like, Derek Carr, is still going to have his day, whatever you want to call it or not, against, a Steve Spagnuolo defense that will plan for him, even though, and he's faced the Kansas City Chiefs as a member of the Raiders many times before, so it's not like he's not too familiar with how this defense is and how the Raiders and how the Chiefs are. So I do lean the Saints, but I am not really 100% liking it. I just think it's that's why I'm losing as a lean tonight. Just really feel as if he makes this game. Derek Carr, Dennis Allen make this game interesting tonight. Like I said, I never like to really bet against the Chiefs, so that's why I'm not going, to actually place this. But I'm just as a lean, just because it's Monday night, obviously in the Monday night game. But I do know Mahomes, obviously, in terms of a player prop, obviously he's thrown an interception every single game this year. I know his mind's at minus 135 to throw another one tonight, so that maybe that's a sprinkle there. And like I said, I know how this Saints defense has been playing really, really well so far. Not even, it's just obviously you can say, oh, it's a Saints defense, but, they've been playing well against guys, Jalen Hurts and, Dak Prescott and top quarterbacks that we always acknowledge in the NFL. Now, obviously, it's a big road test against, Patrick Mahomes and how that that whole offense works. But, with maybe the fact that the run game still is, a little bit of a question with, Kareem Hunt and, Carson Steele and how, the true split is going to be, I feel, is that the Saints could make this game interesting with, obviously, we saw how, the game started last week for the Chiefs, obviously just with, getting that pick intercepted from early on the drive. And so early in the first quarter. So that's pretty much all we need. So, I do like this. I do lean the Saints plus the 5.5. And like I said, Mahomes throwing interceptions right now, minus 135, and he's throwing one in every single game. So I'm not placing it. It's just what I like today. So I definitely say if I was to go place it, that's what I would do. But tomorrow I am placing this. I'm placing FIU on the points here. Obviously, we got some Tuesday night CUSA action here. I'm back in the points here with FIU Panthers. No analysis here, just a uniform bet. If you have seen their uniforms, if you have not, I urge you to go, whether it's FIU football, Twitter, or whatever, just go find these uniforms because these uniforms are so nice, right? And I'm just saying, hey, you're not losing by 17 in these jerseys. You ain't losing by 17 or more. Okay. I hope obviously for the covered 17 or less, but 18 or more, yeah, they ain't losing by that much. I feel as if with it's not even just that, just a jersey bet here. Obviously, it's just Tuesday night action. Tuesday night CUSA action here. Obviously, now getting into the weekday college football here. Wednesday, I looked at that game and I said, if you're putting any money on New Mexico State and Jacksonville State, call the number because that game is so ugly. I'm not even going to even take a look at it. But obviously, there is some more football on Thursday as well, and we got some playoff baseball along the way. So those are my, I guess, 2/3 is kind of plays for today and tomorrow. I'm just leaning toward the Saints on the plus 5.5 spread there. It's a little bit public, but I'm just using it as a lean. Don't really like how this offense looks for the Chiefs right now, and the way the Saints have been playing. I think they can make this game interesting. And obviously, I'm just backing FIU on the points tomorrow at plus 17.5. Strictly a jersey bet, and then, like I said, Mahomes. He's thrown an interception every single game this year, which is kind of weird to say for Mahomes. Obviously, we always talk about how amazing he is and not really turning over the ball. Obviously, he's had one in every single game. So I know he's minus 135, and I know the Saints defense obviously will try to at least pick him off in the air as well, or try to turn over the ball as much as they can because that's how you beat the Chiefs. You keep Mahomes off the field. So I like Mahomes potentially to get a pick as well. Just as a player prop out there. So those are my 2/3-ish plays for today and tomorrow. Just getting back into the groove of things, starting with a new week here. All right, I know you got a lean for tonight. If you lean anywhere, where are you leaning in this Monday night game?
Yeah, I'm actually going to the Diamond today with the Tigers. I think it's in like a few hours, his first pitch. Obviously, it's been a crazy start to the playoffs in everywhere pretty much, especially this past weekend and Friday. The Guardians, they scored 5 runs before they even had one out in game 1 of this series. Now you've got Tariq Skubal on the mound against Matthew Boyd. And I was looking at the season, and it's kind of weird because even though, they had the schedule change where you don't face your division team opponents as much, but I was still a little surprised to see that Skubal only, let me just double check one. Yeah, he only faced Cleveland once all season, which is a little bit, usually you'd think you face the team in your division at least 2 or 3 times, but he only faced him once, and it was back in July, and he went 7 innings. Somehow he gave up 10 hits, only gave up 1 run, despite giving up 10 hits, which is kind of unusual, obviously. But he's coming off obviously shutting out the Astros in 6 innings in Game 1 of that series, and now it's basically obviously it's not must win, but you don't want to go down 2-0 in a best of 5 series. So I'm just backing Skubal. He should win Cy Young, obviously the likely Cy Young winner, to do enough to be able to get the Tigers even up in the series. And I think every other series so far, I guess it's only 2 that's been had 2 games, but the 2 are both 1-1. So I see that happening in this series as well. Just backing Skubal to hopefully not give up more than a run or 2, and the Tigers lineup, isn't the most reliable, even though they came up in certain spots against Houston to sweep them. So good on them for that. Hopefully they can, come up in enough spots against Matthew Boyd, and then, the Guardians bullpen's really good. So hopefully they can do enough on Matthew Boyd to not have to get hits late off the bullpen of Cleveland, obviously. But yeah, just backing the narrative of Tigers wanting to even up the series, and then backing, arguably the best pitcher in the AL or even in the whole MLB, arguably to help them do so.
Yeah, obviously going back to the diamond here, postseason baseball, as I was alluding to, obviously, there's 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow. Obviously you mentioned the other 2 games are evened up with the Phillies and Mets and the Padres and Dodgers. Looking for the Tigers to even up today, and I like that as well. Obviously, with the Tigers, they obviously surround their 1 win, around Skubal, and then obviously it's kind of what the chaos happens according to AJ Hinch, and obviously it's a Skubal start. And you mentioned the last time he faced them, he went 7 innings, obviously 10 hits and 1 run, but maybe that's just crediting to show how good the Tigers defense really is. Obviously one of the best defensive teams in terms of not allowing runs, obviously forcing teams to ground into double plays and flyouts and inning enders, obviously, and that's how the Tigers win games, obviously, by limiting the amount of runs across the plate. And obviously, I do like them to win this game today, just trying to even up the series. You mentioned it just with the narrative here. Obviously, before it goes back to Detroit for the other 2. And I have the Guardians winning in 4 or 5, and I think this is the game that the Tigers do win. Obviously, just backing Tariq Skubal on the mound. I think the Guardians will make it interesting, as depending on how long Skubal goes, because I feel like, this either is going to be a great Skubal start or he's going to get blown up. It's gonna be one of the 2, just in terms of how playoff baseball is sometimes. And but I do like Skubal to potentially just get the job done on the road. Obviously, we saw how he did against Houston, and Houston just has no bats at all. Had no bats entering the playoffs and had no bats the entire postseason as well. But obviously, facing a familiar foe, I do lean the Tigers as well to even up the series. So I do like that play for you with the Tigers, who first pitch is here in a few hours, for some MLB postseason baseball on this Monday morning here. I do like the Tigers on the money line here, -125, a short road favorites here. I know a lot of people are going to be leaning toward the Guardians as home, obviously as home dogs, but I think the Tigers are the right side here, just backing that defense and backing Tariq Skubal before they go back to Detroit for the next 2. So I do like the Tigers straight up on the money line today here at -125. So that's Ari's 1 play for you. Just going back to the diamond here with the Tigers, and my 1 lean and then 1 play for tomorrow. First with the Saints here leaning +5.5 against the Chiefs on the road, and then we're going to FIU backing them +17.5 against Liberty on the road as well. Obviously, you can find all of these plays on our below AKP Sports Talk. But obviously, like I said, we're getting closer and closer to the beginning of the real NBA season. Obviously, now preseason right now. Obviously, same for NHL. That just means we're getting closer and closer. Some more, obviously, recordings, getting back to our usual weekday schedule here. Obviously, we're going to be getting closer to that in the next coming weeks here, as we get action going, and as we get, deeper into the postseason as well for baseball, and as we continue on with the sports world, and as we get closer to the sports equinox, just a few weeks away, Ari, as we mentioned, we're going to have a big parlay for that day. We don't usually do parlays, but obviously it's just the one time a year where, we get each sport in the American in America happening all on the same day. So obviously look forward to that coming soon. But that's going to do it for this episode. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We'll be back some Thursday. Obviously, we have the big Thursday night game between the mighty Seahawks and the mighty 49ers, who both lost to the Giants and Cardinals at home. on Sunday. So, obviously, I have the only thing that's going through my mind right now, Ari, is that infamous the Rock and John Cena meme where you have the Seahawks on one side and the Niners coming in for a Thursday night football battle. Everyone was so hyped to see this earlier on the week, and then we saw how the Seahawks just put up a stinker against the Giants at home, and then the Niners blowing another lead somehow against the Cardinals at home. So, who knows what is going to happen for Thursday. So obviously we'll have the best bets for that game. Obviously, big game for the NFC West race. But that's going to do it for this episode. That's Ari. I'm Korea. We'll be back on Thursday.